Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off here talking about some pretty devastating news for Sony, and that's the fact that they're facing a $7.9 billion mass lawsuit. And this is all over PlayStation Store prices. And yes, we said billion with a B. For some context here, this appears to be a class action lawsuit that was filed back in August of 2022. It applies to people in the UK who purchased something on the PlayStation Store between August 19th, 2016 and August 19th, 2022. So at a real high level here, in the UK, it's illegal for companies to abuse their dominant position. And they believe that PlayStation occupies a dominant position in relation to the digital distribution of PlayStation games and in-game content, and that it has unfairly been charging its UK customers too much for digital games and in-game content purchased through the PlayStation Store. If the lawsuit is successful, it's been estimated that people may receive in the tens to possibly hundreds of dollars, and that's about it. It's a large amount for the lawsuit, but apparently there's a lot of people involved. So as far as I know, Sony decided to challenge this one and get it tossed out in court. And as of today, at the time of filming, November 21st here, a judgment was handed down by the Competition Appeal Tribunal, and the case has been granted approval to go to trial. If my math is correct, this lawsuit is for a little over 7% of Sony, which is absolutely massive. There's 8.9 million people in this class action lawsuit, and I'm very curious to see what's going to happen here. But overall, it's probably going to take years for this to be resolved. Next up here, we're still talking about PlayStation, just a few generations back. PS1, and it's on Android, and it's with Duckstation. And Duckstation lives yet again. It just got updated. So as of November 18th, there's a note here that says, time permitting, the beta build should be released by the end of the year. And as of November 22nd, it says screen rotation issues fixed, game compatibility improvements. I'll drop a link to this page in the description below and feel free to check it out. And interestingly enough, there's a brand new feature here. It's under app settings and it's called post-processing. So if you're a fan of post-processing shaders, you may be a fan of this update. And on a quick side note here, I submitted the APK through VirusTotal and it seems to have come back completely clean. Looking at the details here too, I don't see anything about ads or anything like that. I'm not gonna lie here, I'm pretty excited to see Duckstation back alive and hopefully well, only time is gonna tell. Moving on, and we're going up a generation here and talking about PS2 emulation on Android with NetherSX2. And NetherSX2 just got a brand new release to make patching AetherSX2 a lot easier. So at the time of filming, the latest update here is NetherSX2 patch plus builder version 1.7. And they rewrote the script to give it the ability to patch a user-provided AetherSX2 4248 APK into NetherSX2. This script now also works like Builder and can download, create, and update a copy of NetherSX2. As for changes, a whole bunch of games now have settings thanks to GameDB updates, and one of these games is Battlefield 2. And controller DB updates also added in the retro adapter and a whole bunch of other ones. NetherSX2 is free, it's open source, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. And speaking about free and open source, next up we're talking about GameMaker, and for those who may not be aware, GameMaker stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, and it's a 2D game engine. And they say here, from today, GameMaker will be free for non-commercial use on all platforms excluding console. And on top of that, Go.Engine says great news for all game developers and he plans on open sourcing next. And GameMaker says, stay tuned, I can't wait to see what's next. And speaking about next up we're talking about Pretendo. Pretendo is a free and open source replacement for 3DS and Wii U servers. And they said, over the past few days, we have been rewriting several internal libraries for better stability. As a result of this, we have almost reached compatibility with some non-Nintendo Network games made by Ubisoft. And on a side note here, interestingly enough, they say this is due to them using nearly identical game server backends. Who would have thought? If you are curious about this one, I'll drop a link to Pretendo's website in the description below and feel free to check it out. Pretendo is compatible with CMU. It's not compatible with Citra though. Next up, this is a friendly heads up that Steam is currently having their autumn sale. The sale goes from November 21st to November 28th. And as per usual here, there's a whole bunch of real good deals. And on top of that, GOG is also having their sale. The sale goes for another 6 days, at least at the time of filming here, and again with a whole bunch of real good deals. It's a great time to pick up a whole bunch of games to add to your backlog and never play. Next up, I've got a quick update about a story we covered yesterday. So yesterday we talked about YouTube and how it was slowing down Firefox from accessing YouTube by about 5 seconds. Apparently, it's not restricted to just Firefox. It's basically any browser using an ad blocker. This update comes from Android Central, and I'll drop a link to the article in the description below. YouTube says users who have ad blockers installed may experience suboptimal viewing regardless of the browser they are using. And speaking about YouTube, next up we're talking about Anbernic, and Anbernic just posted a brand new video on YouTube of the brand new RG35XX Plus. This is an update of the existing 35XX. It appears to be the exact same form factor, but it does have an updated processor. So the RG35XX Plus comes with an H700 chipset. The RAM is upgraded from 256 megs of DDR3 to 1 gig of DDR4. It does have Wi-Fi. The battery is upgraded here to 3300 milliamp hours. I am very curious about this one, and it releases pretty soon on November 25th. And speaking about handhelds, if the 35XX Plus is a little bit too large for you, this person has a handheld that may be more up your alley. They are earrings, and they actually play Doom. This is equal parts ridiculous and absolutely amazing. Moving on, and I've got another quick one for you. This is an upcoming unnamed game. If you're a fan of 3D Zelda, if you're a fan of Mega Man Legends, well, you may be a fan of this game here. I've got no idea what it's called. I've got no idea when it's releasing. But I do know that it looks incredibly interesting, and I'm going to have my eyes on this one. This game is being developed by Studio Pixel Punk, who already have a game on Steam called Unsighted. That is, interestingly enough, a part of the autumn sale. I'll be adding this one to my backlog as well. I think this looks like a very interesting game. It's currently 50% off. Next up, we're talking about another Black Friday deal, and this one's in regards to Krikzz. If you're in the market for an EverDrive or some of their other products, they're having a Black Friday sale for 20% off their entire store. I'll drop a link in the description below. And last up here, we're quickly talking about Reddit Switch pirates, and there's a lot of rumors circling around that this publicly accessible subreddit may be shutting down soon because of, well, you may have guessed it, piracy. There's a whole bunch of posts here that have been removed by Reddit. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.